Welcome to Concussion Talk Podcast. I'm Nick Mercer. This is episode 52. Concussion Talk Podcast is presented by HeadCheck Health. HeadCheck Health bridges the gaps in concussion care through simple, powerful technology. Join organizations like the Canadian Football League, Track Factory Racing, the Canadian Junior Hockey League, Eastern Washington University, and Volleyball Canada, who rely on HeadCheck to improve communication and optimize care. Visit headcheckhealth.com for more. Episode 52 ties in with episode 51 with Chloe Luckett about Love Your Brain Yoga and how it got started in Nova Scotia. Here to talk about that, not only Love Your Brain Yoga, but everything that Brain Injury Nova Scotia does, is the Executive Director of Brain Injury Nova Scotia, Leona Burkey.
All right.
Yeah, Leona, can you just please introduce yourself and tell us about, speaking about Chloe Luckett, about how you got involved with Love Your Brain? Well, by Brain Injury Nova Scotia to start with, but how you became involved with yoga and Love Your Brain, how that became a thing.
Yeah, sure thing. It's great to be here, Nick, and to be on your podcast. It's good to see and hear you again. Brain Injury Nova Scotia. We've been it's a small to medium-sized nonprofit now, but I started with the organization in 2014, and my name is Leona Burkey, and I'm currently the executive director of the organization. Sorry, I got a puppy in the back here barking. I got involved with the organization. They were really struggling at the time, just with kind of keeping the lights on and keeping brain injury on the radar, as a health and support and services issue. But I got involved because my sister has a brain injury. So she's 5 years younger than me, and she sustained her injury when she was 16 years old. Okay. So, it certainly, caught her certainly in the prime of her life. I know you can relate to that, Nick.
Yeah.
And I really got involved entirely by accident. I moved back to the Maritimes and I was looking for services for her. And I learned a little bit about the organization and some of the struggles they were going through. And I got a little pissed off, to be honest, because I thought that we could do a much better job in Nova Scotia. And it's been a bit of a crusade ever since. Yeah. But most people that are involved with brain injury have a connection to it,
Yeah, it seems to, yeah.
In my case, it's certainly a direct family connection. Yeah, so I've been at it a few years, but we're starting to, we grabbed a gear a couple years ago. And we're really making some good improvements in Nova Scotia, and we're growing very quickly.
It seems like there's a good website and good initiatives like this Love Your Brain thing that Chloe was up. I was talking to Chloe last podcast, and so how did you guys get together with that? How did you see yoga? Did your sister like yoga, or how did that come about?
It was a bit of a series of accidents again. I met Chloe not too long after her brain injury, and she discovered that yoga was really helpful to her when she was recovering. Yeah. And she reached out to us, and I remember the day like it was yesterday. We just met in Halifax for coffee, and I was excited to meet her. I know her family a little bit, and I knew a bit about her story. So we sat down, and we both asked the same question at the same time, and that was, how can we bring Love Your Brain Yoga to Halifax or to Nova Scotia? Because we had, right around that time, the Kevin Pierce film had come out.
I saw that, Crash Reel.
It's great. It's amazing. It's an amazing film. Yeah. And we kind of both saw it at the same time, and we just sort of happened to connect around that idea. And we had that first, kind of coffee chat. Yeah. And then we started working together. We approached the Love Your Brain Foundation. We said, hey, how do we bring a chapter of this Love Your Brain yoga to Halifax? And the rest slowly fell into place. We found a host studio. We trained Chloe and 3 others to be
Three
instructors.
others? Okay.
Yeah, and
So
we
you have a
got a
lot.
lot of support from Lululemon in
Okay,
Halifax itself, and they
that's
have a
good.
grant program called Here to Be, and they really helped us like with training costs and what have you, and we
Oh, that's
found
good.
an
Yeah.
awesome host studio, and I know Chloe told you all about that in the last podcast.
Yeah.
But we launched that thing last year, and 4 full series have been full to the max with a waiting list.
Well,
Yeah. So
so
people really like it.
yeah, it seems that's after, because actually we met in 2016 at
Yep.
Dalhousie physiotherapy class. It was a class on a Friday. It was Friday. Was it Friday or Wednesday? Anyway, anyway we met at a class. It was Tuesday, I believe. Anyway, the point is we met speaking to a physiotherapy class at Dalhousie University. But you had just started at. Yeah, you had just started at Brain Injury Nova Scotia, or were you just talking
Yeah,
today?
yeah, it wasn't long. Like it was, I started in 2014, but we took some time, to
Yeah,
kind of start building some things.
right.
And then 2016, kind of right when you and I hung out last, that
Yeah,
was really a bit of a turning point. Like we were doing some work with our
right,
Department of
right.
Health. We were working on a brain injury strategy. It was all just piles of work. And it took until a couple years after that, 2018, that we really, kind of moved a mountain and started,
Getting the yoga
using
thing going.
some public funding to really
Yeah,
build programs and services.
and I've
It's
seen
been
on
great.
social media that you have also, as well as this yoga, you have concussion support groups or concussion coffee houses.
Yeah, we certainly do. And that's it's a successful program. We've tried, like mild traumatic brain injury and
Yeah,
concussions.
yeah,
They really make up a big chunk of the population. So we
yeah.
wanted to, kind of serve that group. And we tried it like more of a clinical support group a few years ago, and it didn't go very well. Like people really wanted a safe space to talk, at a peer level,
Yeah,
So we changed it up and we called it Concussion Cafe.
right.
And
Yeah, so yeah,
yeah, and it meets once a month and it's very well attended. And it's basically we have peer leaders that have been through complex concussions themselves,
yeah.
and they provide a safe space for people to share kind of solutions and successes and challenges along their road to recovery, and it's fantastic. People really like sharing that with each other. Yeah, it's a really
And
important group.
and if people want to get involved with that, is it just, well, if you go to the Brain Injury Nova Scotia website, and what is that? That's Brain Injury NS
Yeah,
or the
you're
website?
yeah, real easy to find if you Google brain injury NS, or the URL is www.braininjuryns.com.
Okay.
And we just launched it last month, so it's a brand new kind of look and feel, and it's
Yeah.
really easy to navigate.
Yeah, it looks good,
And
I gotta say.
yeah,
It's
so we
easy to
encourage.
navigate, right?
Yeah, have you seen it, Nick?
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it's very informative. It's got lots of good information. I think. Well, of course, I don't live in Nova Scotia, so I don't live in Nova Scotia, so I can't really say how how easy it is to find these places. But I mean, it looks, if I
yeah.
did live there, I could easily find them, and it looks like it's very informative for, especially for people who are in the area.
Yeah, yeah, we're really excited to, kind of have it as a brand new tool to let people know, our programming's really consistent. There's a lot of new things happening. No, I'm on the phone, but she's okay. And so we're really excited about the new tool because it's really easy to navigate. So, and we kind of designed it that way, so you don't have to click forever. You can find what you need, and event calendar, program updates, everything is really current, and it's the easiest place to find us. Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think is the best way for? I mean, I think you met Chloe for coffee and this concussion cafe. And I know Love Your Brain Yoga has a group chat at the end of it. Do you guys do other chats? Did you find like chatting and go about people, or are people open to that? Open to talking about their issues or their brain injuries or whatever in group settings, or how do you
Yeah,
find?
we really try to, I mean, the heaviest program slate is in Halifax because that's our biggest city.
Yeah.
But what we've tried to do is we kind of have like a handful of speakers that we've gathered up that are really good at, addressing specific topics around brain injury. And we kind of cycle those workshops out into communities so people have a chance to connect around them. And then we do a music therapy group once a week. People are loving that. And we try to cycle programs so they don't get boring, So we're starting like a weekly topic-based, I think we're calling it the Java Jam, like just where people can come in and, the topic might be taxes or, dealing with having an invisible injury or what have you. And we use volunteers a lot too. We think that's really important when you've lived it, that you can, once things are going pretty good, kind of like what you do, right, Nick?
Yeah.
Like,
do you have a good volunteer base?
What's that?
Do you have a good volunteer base there? That's
we do, and it's growing. Yeah.
And your board looks pretty big too. You have a lot of doctors in there. Or?
Yeah, it's taken an awful lot of work. Like I find, and it's the same in Newfoundland.
Yeah.
And much the same through the Maritimes. Like brain injury affects an awful lot of people.
It does.
And you need a strong, organized voice to help you, like it's important. So we spent a lot of the early years, at least in my time with the organization, kind of really working on that end, like making sure we have a good, strong board and we have good, strong committees and then good, consistent programming. And then it all kind of starts falling into place. And we've been fortunate, right? Like we have a really good staff team and we're just going after it. Yeah.
Are most of your staff, are they like, are you guys, well, first of all, are you linked with the hospital system there? Or do you just, you have unofficial kind of linkages, or do you have officially linkages with the health system, health system?
I would say it's an informal link. Yeah. But we've really been able to kind of build those relationships so that, the hospital system and primary care is really comfortable referring to our organization because it gives people like a bit of a pillow to land on in the community, especially if you're in rehab and you get discharged. Like, what do you do then? So we partner with our hospital system and our health authority and some other stakeholders too, kind of anybody that's interested in and provides service to brain injury. We're like hooking up all over the place. Yeah.
Good. So is there only one rehab center in Halifax?
Yes. Yeah. There's one primary rehab facility, and that's in Halifax. Yeah.
And that's for all of Nova Scotia, or?
Sorry, Nick.
That's for all of Nova Scotia.
Yeah, like there's some more like smaller units in smaller towns, that have some rehab capability. But for brain injury, the big house is the rehab center in Halifax. Yeah.
So do you guys have I know obviously the brain injury population is a lot bigger than anyone really recognizes or even knows that matter. But do you have a membership list? Like, do you have people who are members of Brain Injury Nova Scotia, or is it just a charity that just takes whoever's, not only takes whoever, but I mean like, that you can't, anybody who's been brain injured is a member?
Yeah. No, we kind of do a bit of a mix. Like the organization started as a membership style charity, more like a society. So we've kept that. Because it's really nice to belong to something, Yeah. So we have, right now we have an active membership. When we started, it was about 120 and we're up to well over 1,000.
Oh, that's really good.
In a few short years. So that's growing really quickly.
Yeah, that's incredible.
But we know in Nova Scotia, I think the number is around 70,000 people.
Yeah, I read that on your website too. As I said, it's very informative. But population-wise, yours must be the biggest brain injury association society, whatever, in all of Atlantic Canada. Because Gordon
I
Brunswick?
think it might be Nick. Yeah.
Because I know our Newfoundland Labradors is not that big. It's very small actually, and PI is mostly very small. New
Yeah.
Brunswick is not as big as Nova Scotia, is it? No.
Um, no, population is a little bit less, but there's no real like there are some peer support options and stuff in New Brunswick, but there's no like kind of provincial charity that is dealing with brain injury as a whole. And same with PEI, like there's they're growing and they're doing okay, but still quite small.
Yeah.
And Newfoundland is same, right? Like kind of probably where we were a few years ago.
Yeah.
And I know Angie.
Yeah.
And yeah. So sorry, you'll have to edit that out.
No
I got
worries.
a yappy dog. I'm gonna kill him.
It's fun. It's part of the podcast. And plus, I don't know how to edit that. So.
All right. Well, sorry about.
But no worries. I was gonna ask you about the Concussion Cafes and your Java Jams. Are they all in one place? Are they spread out? Are they in different, I don't know, restaurants or locations or rec centers, wherever you put where they are?
That's a great question. No, we opened this past year. We partnered with a rehab provider called Peter's Place, and we opened like
I actually
a legit.
met them on Brain Injury Canada's conference in Toronto also in 2016.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, they're such a great bunch of people. So we partnered with them and we opened like a legit community space and offices in Halifax, like on the Dartmouth side.
Right.
So we have some programs there, but our Concussion Cafe, it's almost like people prefer to almost keep it like anonymous. So we just meet at a rec center. So you could be going to the gym or you could be going to Concussion Cafe. So sometimes we rent space, and have meetings all around the city. Sometimes we host them at our own space. It just kind of depends, what the participants want to do. Right. So we're kind of, a little bit of both. Yeah.
What's your most popular event or, like cafe event with a group meeting? What's your most popular, think?
Our Concussion Cafe is really popular.
That's good,
yeah. And I think that just kind of speaks to the numbers. Like a lot of people, can relate to kind of that end of brain injury spectrum. But really what people really respond to is if we put together a topic like, ambiguous loss after brain injury, like, how it can change you as a person and you miss the person that you were before, and exploring all of those things. Like if we do a very targeted workshop on a specific subject, we tend to have a really big crowd because people want to learn, right? They want to learn, they want to hear about strategies, and they want to feel like supported in the hard work that it is to recover, right? And how hard it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So actually, that's going to lead me to build on my final question. What events do you have? Events or meetings do you have? Does Nova Scotia have coming up that you think are people want to know about, or that you want everybody to know about?
Sure. Thank you, Nick. Well, we just, if you just check our website, our events calendar is always current, but coming up, we have Concussion Cafe tonight in Halifax.
Nice.
We have music therapy tomorrow.
Tonight being Tuesday.
Yeah,
Tuesday, January 28th.
That's right, January 28th at 7 p.m. tonight.
Okay.
And then we have a music therapy session tomorrow afternoon. We have a yoga class on Thursday afternoon.
Busy.
And then our big deal coming up is we're doing a series of one-day Brain Injury 101 trainings.
Okay.
And we're doing 3 of those at the end of February and 3 in May. And those will be in Halifax, Truro, and Antigonish. So we're leaving the city for a couple of days. And we're looking forward to getting out into the community and, training some care providers and survivors and their families and whoever wants to come.
Excellent. And I said that was the last question, but my final question is, so if people want to donate or volunteer, volunteer or donate to Brain Injury Nova Scotia, how would they find you on like social media or website or even in person? How would they find Brain Injury Nova
Yeah.
Scotia and Leona Burkey?
Sure. Well, it's easy to find us online, of course. You can go to our new website. So there's a real easy donate button, of course, on the front
That's
page.
good.
And we have a really active Facebook page, and that's also Brain Injury NS. So people can get, real kind of real time updates there. We share a lot of news and program info, and people connect with each other there as well.
You seem
And
very active on Instagram as well. You seem fairly active on Instagram as well. I've
yes,
noticed.
yeah, we're on Insta, Twitter, and it's the same handle for all of them, Brain Injury NS.
Brain Janice. Okay, well,
Yep.
thanks. This yeah, it's easy to find you for sure. And I want to do some research for this talk and for Chloe's talk. It was simple to find Brain G and S just on anything, like you said, like any social media or on the Google it. It's simple, and
Yeah.
yeah. So that's great. Anything else you'd like to add that I haven't mentioned yet or have forgotten to mention?
Oh no, well, not really. We're just real happy that we got to reconnect with you, Nick, and we've kind of been following you, through the years, and
Great.
it's really cool that you have, your podcast is up and running still, and
Yeah.
it was a real treat that you featured Chloe and myself and Love Your Brain on this month's podcast. We really appreciate
Well,
it.
thank you so much. And actually, I mentioned that on your Facebook page, there's a video. That's where I saw you, video of you, Chloe, and you doing a interview with Global News in Nova Scotia about Brain Injury, Love Your Rain, and yoga, and that was a good chat. So that's when I first got the idea to to contact you guys and get you both on the podcast. So
Awesome.
yeah. So thank you so much for being on the podcast, and hope to get out very soon. So thank you.
Yeah, you come visit us, Nick.
I plan to. I don't plan to, but I will. I will. It's not very far, so I'll get to get on a plane. But yeah, I'll be there. All right.
Okay.
Thanks so much.
All right. Thanks, Nick. Great talking to you.
Great talking to you. Thank you. Thank you again to Leona Burkey for a great conversation. And please visit their website at www.braininjuryns.com. And you can find out more about all their social media, all their upcoming events, how to get involved, and how to donate. And also, please visit my website at www.concussiontalk.com. You can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Concussion Talk. Thank you again for listening. As always, music at the beginning of this podcast is by Ben Sound. www.bensound.com.